where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. While these words were penned by Rabindranath Tagore a few decades back, I firmly believe that they have reached a new pinnacle of relevance today. That gives us a lot to think and perhaps rethink, for it is in our hands to choose and decide which way we want our ships to sail. No matter what point of our lives we are in today, we are all dealing with exhausting choices aimed at a better and brighter future, attempting to come to terms with the new reality and break out of the gloom set up by the pandemic. And through times like these, it is solely our purpose and the urge to grow that keeps us going from one day to the other. So with these pertinent lines, I welcome you aboard on a hopefully wonderful journey ahead in the world of medical sciences. Heartfelt gratitude for joining. You're watching Medical Finesse. Enjoy the video ahead, and if this leaves an impression on your heart, do shower your love and support by liking the video, adding your valuable comments, and sharing it with your loved ones. Let's go. All forms of learning starts from one common focal point. Integrating oneself with a subject or a skill to a level that you feel incomplete in its absence and the subject gains an identity with you. It is that quintessential feeling of oneness with what you indulge in that manifests itself as something utterly magical. The energy that then flows through you in and out paints fluid impressions of your permanent work, emanating excellence through every stroke on the canvas. And as a medico, you must first feel this majestic canvas offered to you along with unquestionable faith and a faint thread of hope that ceases to break till the final up or down on the echocardiogram, which is the human body. It would not be an exaggeration to say that each human body is a universe in itself, and in our lives it is something we most frequently come in contact with. Right from our birth, we perceive our mother and then father. We then grow to associate with people, make bonds, and experience a cascade of chemicals sinking in our brains when we meet our life partners. And unlike the universe we consider ourselves a part of, this universe we hold inside ourselves changes too. And it changes completely every 7 years, replacing each cell which was once a constituent of our physical identity. With change, we sometimes lose contact and earlier associations and form new ones, but in every point of our lives, we interact, communicate, love and care, hoping other people reciprocate the same to us. And we know what distinguishes a human being from other animals is the self-consciousness which is bestowed upon us. We have the ability of being aware of our past, living at present and planning our future. And yet, one aspect of our lives that cannot be neglected at any cost is health, the complete all-round well-being. When we dive deeper into the nitty-gritty crevices of each of the human systems, their functioning, homeostasis, agents capable of disrupting normal physiology, pathogenesis of diseases, diagnostics and treatments, we might be more inclined to channel a patient's major complaints into known categories pertaining to different disorders and initiating a treatment plan. However, considering the bigger holistic picture of the canvas is equally integral to the process. This makes it essential to learn in the right frame of mind, wherein you distinctly see the pieces of the puzzle fitting together. It might take an extra ounce of effort in the beginning, but that effort is what makes all the difference. As humans, we are run to a considerable extent by our thoughts, emotions and feelings, each of which can alter depending on how we are treated or how a person behaves with us. Therefore, the underlying anatomy, physiology and biochemistry is an aspect of a human body which is in good sync with other tenets of the individual, including hope, faith, belief, love, and compassion. There's a fancy little English word, perspicacious, which means to be able to judge correctly what people and situations are really like. Needless to specify, it is an inevitable trait to have in any aspect of life today. But imagine how a community of conscious, empathetic, and perspicacious doctors can impact the healthcare system in the coming years, and what that little change would mean to the thousands who would visit the hospitals as patients with glimmering hope speckled with ominous thoughts and uncertainty. When we value life, we realize what we must do to protect it. And the most befitting way to start your journey in the field of medical sciences is by appreciating the body of work, pun intended, the journey and life as a whole. Learning is unfinished without acknowledgement. Hence, all the 1,000 facts in those medical literature textbooks lose their shine if their importance, relevance, and practical impact are not acknowledged by you. Other than the fancy English word, there wasn't much new to learn today, but tons of acknowledgement as to what we are dealing with as medicos and why. It takes a moment to acknowledge, but the influence it brings along is sometimes startling. Our mind functions well with defined clarity, and providing a complete and vivid perspective was the motive of this video. And I hope since you've stayed so far with me, you have also discovered a latent part of you that is very patient, invites opinions, thinks, and grows. All traits pointing towards a brilliant future doctor with well-directed efforts in due course of time. I'll leave you with this newly found version to reflect and spend some sweet gratifying moments now to get prepped up in order to enter the first chapter of our journey in the next video very soon. I hope from the bottom of my heart that you would consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon if you haven't already to start exploring medical sciences with us. That would motivate us immensely. Thank you so much. We'll see you shortly with our first chapter. Till then, happy learning.